This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishop, and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren out there teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the 144,000. I'm the brother Dama Agibar here with another lesson, Lord willing and edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, and this is going to be a quick lesson, but hey, look like Satan is at it again. Okay, and this is not medical information. This is not medical advice. I'm just reading the news. But one thing I noticed that's in this news is seems very familiar to me. And it should seem very familiar to you guys, especially from a movie called, what was that movie called? The one with Matt Damon and Gwyneth Paltrow, I think, was in the movie. Contagion, right? This sounds very reminiscent of the movie Contagion. As I read this article, all right, it seems, aspects of that movie is what's happening in this new Nipah fruit bat virus, which is being found in India. All right. And as we know, Bill Gates of hell and Dr. Falsify has said that there will be another pandemic. It's only a matter of not if, but when. And hey, maybe this could be the new one. All right. And I'm just saying, things like this tend to, spread, and it's a very dangerous one, matter of fact. So, hey, could this be the one that they've been talking about? Hey, we don't know. But this is why, hey, we can't be ignorant of Satan's devices. And we know how a lot of these things are, let's just say studied and tinkered with, that could be used for the advantage of certain individuals on this planet. But let's go. It says new GOF. I'll keep it at that. Nipah fruit bat virus kills teenager in India by causing her brain to swell. It's crazy. So let's read into some of this. It says Indian teenager dies from brain swelling bat virus. It says the girl who had reportedly developed symptoms of acute encephalitis syndrome, a condition marked by fever and rapid onset neurological deterioration, succumbed to the infection just days after the U.S. formally ended its bird flu emergency response. So, hey, could this be out with the old and in with the new? Hey, I'm just reading the news. I don't know. But, this is something that we can't be ignorant to, or something that we can't, just want to not look at it with any, eyebrows being raised, or, look at it as if, this can't be, something, the next response. It says, although another infected woman is currently being treated in a private hospital in Perenthalamanna, her condition and survival remain uncertain. It says the Nipah virus, which is carried by fruit bats, is transmitted through bat saliva or droppings, especially in areas where humans and bats live in close proximity. Belonging to the same viral family as measles, Nipah is highly contagious and deadly, with the WHO estimating a fatality rate between 40 and 70%. Damn. That's high as hell, man. It says health authorities have already tracked at least 425 people who may have been exposed, including 12 currently under treatment, with 5 in intensive care. Well, where the hell are the other few hundred at? Could they be boarding planes to come back home to America or Africa or the UK or, or Europe or Asia? And like I said, it's very reminiscent of that movie, Contagion. I watched this part. It says Nipah was first identified in 1999 in Malaysia and Singapore after an outbreak linked to pigs infected by fruit bats. Isn't that the beginning of that movie Contagion? They show the bat eating the fruit in the tree, and it takes a couple bites, and it drops down into the pig pen where the pig eats it, and then they slaughter those pigs and take them to China, and they're serving it in restaurants and different things of that nature, and then it becomes and then the rest is history. Like I said, watch the movie Contagion. Is that a little bit of predictive programming? And, are they trying to show us something there? Hey, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But this is why we cannot be ignorant to Satan devices. And we'll understand, the times that we're living in, that this is not beyond this man from using this to, to lock down again or to have another, pandemic happen. It says, so this whole Nipah is they've known about it since 1999. It says over 300 people became ill and more than 100 died. Since then, the virus has triggered intermittent outbreaks in Bangladesh and India, particularly in Kerala, where proximity between human and bats is more common. The 2018 outbreak in Kerala prompted international alarm and established the virus as a potential global health threat. Yep. It says, adding to the unease, researchers have recently discovered 2 novel viruses closely related to both Nipah and Hendra, and another deadly zoonotic virus. Meanwhile, a controversial new study published in Pathogens on June 18, 2025, has revealed that scientists funded by the U.S. National Institute of Health, that's the same organization that Fauci was in charge of, and we know the mischief that he was involved in. It says that the NIH genetically engineered new hybrid viruses that combine elements from bat and human influenza strands. It says the gain-of-function research conducted at the University of Missouri with backing from the NIH National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, NIAID, has sparked outrage and concern over biosecurity risks and pandemic preparedness. Isn't that a coinky-dink? And look at the timing of all of this shit, especially right now with this administration and just Esau, Edom, and these elites all around the world. Hey, they need a major distraction. They need something to take the heat off of them and the Epstein files and Trump and MAGA and this administration and all this other information, coming out against these elites, man. Hey, they need a major distraction. They need something to take the heat off. They need something to, shake things up, It says critics, including, let me get this precept. So you said that what? Let me read that again. It says the gain of where was I? Yeah, it says a controversial new study published in Pathogens on June 18, 2025. And what's today? Today's the 14th, July. So this was last month. Has revealed that scientists funded by the U.S. National Institute of Health genetically engineered new hybrid viruses that combine elements from bat and influenza strands. You see? So we know that these different institutions, they be, they'll find these diseases and they'll take them in the laboratory. They'll study them. They'll do all this. They'll do all that. But then they be doing these gain of function research on these particular viruses to see how to make them more contagious, how to isolate certain strands of it and to do different things with it, to be used at a later date, But this is why, hey, man, can't be ignorant to these devils. This is Psalm 64 and 5. I'm going to read it in the NLT. It says, they encourage each other to do evil. Right. So like I said, they'll find one of these viruses. And what do? They'll take it to these different institutions where they encourage them to, like I said, to isolate certain strands of the virus, to find out ways to make it more contagion and make it more deadlier, to combine them and do, well, what if we do this and we do it with this? What would be the effect? It can be deadly, then they'll take it and then they'll test it on animals and bats and dogs and shit, sometimes even people, to see, see the results and how these things could affect people. And if it could be something that, hey, they can have up their sleeves to lose at a later date, man. You see? So it says they encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. Who will ever notice, they ask. As they plot their crimes, they say, we have devised a perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning, especially those of Esau, Edom. You see? And we know that, what happened during that last pandemic and what Fauci was doing, with the NIH and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and then sending it over to Wuhan. There was a lot of these different facilities over there in the Ukraine. And this is where they plot their evil schemes and plans, and they'll use these different things that they've researched and figured out, and eventually use it against the people, man. You see, it says critics, including those for natural news, question the timing of these developments, suggesting they may be more than coincidence. Right, because there is no coincidence, especially dealing with Esau, Edom, man. These devils plan things out. They plan their evil schemes. They say, we have the perfect plan. Who will see it? You see? It says some have speculated that these events could be part of a coordinated response or even a deliberate strategy to launch a new health crisis in the wake of waning public concern over the BF. While such claims remain speculative, the reemergence of Nipah and the discovery of engineered viral hybrids underscore the urgent need for transparent international health monitoring, robust containment protocols, and ethical oversight in biomedical research. As global surveillance continues, the world watches closely to see whether the Nipah virus remains contained or becomes the next P threat. And it's funny, you're not hearing anything about this Nipah virus on here in America on the American news. You see? Because why? They don't want people catching wind. They want people to be out going about their business. And now that they just ended the BF, what did it say? Yeah, they just ended the BF emergency response. Now people are like, whew, that's no longer a thing. They finally, got rid of the BF and we don't have to worry about it. Everything's safe. Everything's going back to normal. And then boom, they dropped this bomb on everybody. Remember, Kill Bates said, we think the next one is going to get everybody's attention. And he started giggling. Well, you see how the mortality rate of this particular virus is. And it causes the brain to swell. And I think that's what was happening in that movie Contagion, because remember his wife, she was just having all those seizures, and then they showed the scene where they had to they cut open her skull and they tested her brain, probably because her brain, was swelling because she had this particular, this particular situation. It says, yeah. So we can't be ignorant to Satan devices, man. And you're not hearing about this in name. And I heard this one guy, a couple of weeks back during the 4th of July, he was coming out saying that they were gonna, that this was the talk of the next so-called T attack, that they was gonna drop this Nipah on the 4th of July, and they was given a scenario about 800,000 people was gonna drop and a score of other would be infected. But hey, just because the 4th passed don't mean that this is still not. This could still be dropping pretty soon, man. So, hey, man, we can't be ignorant to Satan devices, man. Hey, brothers got to stay prayed up out here and continue to, make sure that we're good with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and continue to blow this trumpet, because, hey, man, we're not out of the woods yet. All right. Hey, we know that these elites, they need the next so-called situation needs to be monumental. It needs to eclipse the 9/11. It needs to be something so big and so, something so big and that, hey, they're going to get the results that they need, man. So, hey, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. To the next one, Shalom.